Welcome in Tuesday edition Oxford Exxon Podcast. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford Studio here today. The transfer portal is insane. Basically, everyone is in it except for Neal and myself at this point. So we'll talk about that today. Heisman finalists, a little basketball, and more coming up on
I do wish
show.
I were a college football quarterback with the transfer in my quiver.
You would definitely unleash the arrow, wouldn't you, just to see what happens?
I'd have to at least explore it. There's some crazy quarterback numbers. We'll talk about it. Go ahead.
Yeah, no,
just nuts.
This podcast, all MPW Digital Podcast, presented by Twisted Tea. More on them here in a little bit. And the Oxford Exxon, Highway 6 West in Oxford. Remember, pick up your alcoholic beverages this weekend. You got Army, Navy, you got stuff going on. You might have to get some honeydews out around the house with the first full week of not a full slate of college football going on. So need a little pick-me-up, the Beer Cave there on Highway 6 West. Get your lunch specials, $5.69, a couple size of bread, any size fountain drink. That's up and down I-55 and throughout North Mississippi as well. And again, coming to you from the Clark Ford studio.
We are Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi. 662-257-1900 is the number. Call it. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours, right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. You get your quote. The rest completely up to you. You can shop that quote around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do. And that is hop into a Clark Ford today. 662-257-1900. Corey and the people at Clark Ford, they want to be your car guy. They want to be your truck guy. They'll show you what that means when you make the call. Again, 662-257-1900. Guest join on the Campbell Clinic hotline. Campbell Clinic's in Oxford now, 2608 South Lamar Boulevard, Suite 102. Just across the street from the cottages at Hooper Hollow. The Campbell Clinic provides full-service orthopedic care, everything from sports medicine to foot and ankle surgery to spine and total joint care to pediatric orthopedics, physical therapy, and more. To book an appointment, go to campbellclinicoxford.com or call 901-759-3111. Walk-ins always welcome at the Campbell Clinic, Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. And to answer the thread, you should absolutely, if you're an Orlando Magic fan, enjoy the build. They've got a really good young team. They're going to be getting better and better. They've drafted well. They're fun to watch. You should enjoy the build. Everything in professional sports cannot be about chasing championships and nothing else. That's no fun. The fun is in the build. Frankly, the build is more fun than the ultimate
There's less
product.
pressure.
This is the good times.
Yeah, you're just chilling. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Boncaro's terrific. Wagner's terrific. I like Suggs a lot, especially in this role. They're fun. That's one of the teams I like to watch.
It's in college football too. It's what we talk about with the playoff and all this stuff. You don't want to take away the team that is just kind of young and building and kind of whatever. And you go, hey, if you go 7-5, that was cool. That was neat. Show up at the ballpark and get a chance to win. Look, as Ole Miss fans, I know you guys enjoyed the hell out of a 10-2 season that just happened, but you were a lot more stressed than you were in 2013 when you had all those young cats trying to go 7-5. Different experience. You knew it was coming. You enjoyed it more.
Yeah.
You're freaked out by rankings right now. It's stressful.
College fans get more freaked out about stuff than
because it's not straightforward,
pro sports
though.
do. Yeah, there's a lot of truth to that.
Pro sports, I know what the ranking is. I see it. I play the Cowboys.
Yeah.
You beat them and you're in. Here, it's like, God, what is Condoleezza Rice going to do? They're going to dictate my season. Like, I don't know. It's that's the problem.
It's wrong what happened, man. It's they did the right thing, but it's wrong. Each passing day it gets worse.
You're getting a little more, yeah.
I don't care, and so therefore I'm not emotional about it. But if I feel really bad for Mike Norvell. I don't know. How do you tell the guys next week, hey guys, let's practice.
You did everything they asked you to do.
Let's practice. For what, coach? What difference is it going to make? Hey, we got to do better next year. Coach, we went undefeated. We won the championship.
Auburn 04 looks at them because I get it.
Yeah.
Talk about things changing in 19 years. SEC champion getting left out.
I mean,
No chance in hell.
no.
No chance in hell.
Jason Campbell and Carnell Williams go, where was Greg Sankey?
Yeah.
It was our turn.
Was that Roy Kramer back in the day? Is that still
so.
Roy?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's probably about right there. I mean, geez. Yeah.
And I'm not surprised Anthony Black's a freak on defense. We're participating in multiple conversations here. He was perfect for Orlando because he can't shoot. He can't score really as a college player, but he was one of the best college defensive players I've ever seen. On a team that didn't defend, he defended. I'm not surprised at all that he's a really good NBA defender. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. So a couple things there. Yeah, this is once where I'm not going to make fun of him necessarily, but I had a buddy send me this. Drinkwitz gave that great line and made fun of the whole Stallions thing on ESPN, but his demeanor makes it where he told 100 people he was going to say it and then made sure everybody bragged on him about it. Yeah. It's so unnatural when he does it that there's nothing cool about it.
But you know what? He made a really good point without even trying to make it.
Yeah.
Which is, okay, wait a minute. So let me get this straight. Let me get this completely straight, you committee people.
Yeah.
All right? So you hold it against Florida State that their quarterback got hurt in a sport where people get hurt, unfortunately. But you didn't hold it against Michigan that their coach got suspended 6 games for cheating. Is that what we're saying? It's hey, your quarterback got hurt playing on senior day against North Alabama. And you won 3 games in a row, basically, because he got hurt early. You won 3 games without him. You actually won a championship with your third-string quarterback. Michigan, on the other hand, got caught cheating. They fired coaches. They made Chris Partridge a fall guy. He's come out and said, I didn't do it. Jim Harbaugh got suspended 6 games, dropped his appeal on the day that evidence was going to be seen. But they didn't get punished. Make that make sense. Make that make sense.
And they came out weeks ago. Yeah. It's okay. But if they cheated, like you said, they cheated. It does affect on-field performance. It's like, well, no, that's an NCAA protocol thing. That doesn't impact us. It's like, hold on. So if I was using a bunch of ineligible players, that's an NCAA thing? That had no impact on the games? If I know what play you're going to run every time, that had a pretty damn good impact on the game. Just saying.
Yeah.
Astros raised their hand. I mean, it's just stupid.
It is.
It means the NCAA went, hey, we're not really ruling on this right now, so you can't punish them.
And you know what? They won't do it, but I wouldn't have a single problem with, and I would go after the people who criticized them if Florida State just didn't show.
Just not play the game.
Just didn't play. What are we playing for? Going to risk injury? What are we doing? I wouldn't hold it against any Florida State player who just said, nah, I'm good. I wouldn't have a single problem with it. Now, they'll play. They'll show up and play. And Georgia will probably beat them, and everybody goes, see? No, it doesn't count. You don't get to suddenly go, oh, well, that's the indictment on Florida State. Nope, that's not fair. No matter what you think, that's not fair. That's crap. And look, I mean, listen to me. I sound like I'm worked up about it. I'm not even emotional. I don't care. Imagine how the people who care feel.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Think about that. I honest to God, couldn't care less. Didn't lose a wink of sleep over it. Can you imagine how the people who were invested in that program feel?
The feelings and the call Stephen Ponder's having to deal with today.
Oh, my God. But beyond Stephen, right?
No, I know. I'm just.
But like the 20-year-old kid who busted his ass. You know how humid it is in Tallahassee, Florida in July? I mean, when you go to Tally, you're nowhere close to the damn beach. Oh, certainly not when you're out running 80-yard sprints in the morning, lifting weights and all that stuff. They paid that price all year. And that's what they got? And don't do the whole ACC is bad. I mean, we can do an argument about who's better, the ACC or the SEC.
Yeah, and they played 2 SEC schools.
And won. They beat LSU straight up. They beat Florida. Are we going to criticize them because the ACC's down? Is that what we're doing? I mean, was the SEC good? Look, I watched Mississippi State and Arkansas in person this year. Please don't tell me about the depth of the SEC. Stop. I was at the game. I had 2 tickets near the 50-yard line in the lower bowl behind the Arkansas sideline. I watched the game. Those were not good football teams. Please don't tell me.
The SEC had 5 good football teams.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Please don't
and
tell me about how
got
good
really weird fast.
Yeah, don't tell me about how good the depth of the league is. That is propaganda. I watched Vanderbilt play in person. Stop. Don't tell me about, well, Boston College sucks. Yeah, so does Vanderbilt. Please don't tell me the depth of the league. Stop. I watched Florida, not in person, but enough times on TV to go, they suck. The same Arkansas team that I saw get beat by a shitty Mississippi State team went to Gainesville and beat that shitty Florida team with those godforsaken uniforms and excellence on the back. Someone had the audacity at Florida to put excellence on the back of his jersey on a team that was horrific. Please don't tell me how bad Pitt was. I don't want to hear it.
The point is they were just like everybody else.
Yes. Were you due to the SEC superior?
They had one extra good team compared to most conferences.
Look at the
maybe 2.
Look at the media in the South right now. They're doing Alabama. No, Alabama played Texas and got beat in Tuscaloosa. Stop. Don't tell me about Georgia. Who were Georgia's 2 biggest wins? Missouri and Ole Miss. That's it. Georgia didn't beat anybody.
Does Florida State? I know you answered this yesterday, but you answered it on the Oregon side. Does Georgia get in if Auburn had beaten Alabama?
Yeah, because the SEC was getting in.
You think so? No matter what?
Yeah.
You think they'd just flip Georgia down to 4?
They just figured it out.
Okay. For the sake of convergence, as they would tell me back in journalism school in like 2005, y'all finished your competition. What's going on with McCready and Siskey, and what's up here for people who not listen to both shows every day? In case I have to reference this.
It came down to one game. Bengals, Jags. He had the over 38.5, and they went way over. I mean, hell, Bengals won. What was I didn't 34-31?
34-31. That is correct. That was kind of impressive. Y'all got down to one game like that.
I mean, it was impressive for me.
0.96 units you were ahead going into the last day?
I mean, I lose by 0.04. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah. You should be handicapped. You should get like 3.
He offered a handicap at the beginning of the year, but I didn't want that. If you're going to win, win. If you're going to lose, lose.
Okay.
So at some point after recruiting's over, got not going through that saga again. Good Lord, last year that was like, I felt like I was being executed.
So what are the rules?
I'll go to the airport not knowing where I'm going.
Okay, finish, and then I got questions.
And then once I get to the airport, obviously I have to find out where I'm going because you have to check a bag and all those things, right? I mean, you have to go through.
They send you the ticket.
Yes. I'll fly to wherever, and I've got to get back to the airport using 3 different modes of transportation.
To that airport.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Okay, here's my question.
I mean, I can, if
your destination only where the plane lands, or do you potentially have to take extra modes of travel to get to the destination to then get back?
It's possible.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I don't
like, do I have to, like, are we just sending you to Portland, Oregon because a plane goes there, or can I send you to some random ass North Dakota town and you got to find a way to the town and then find a way home?
Yeah, but that wouldn't count. Once I get to if I have to like take,
that's what I mean. But I mean, it makes it worse.
Yeah, it makes it worse. I mean, I don't know if I have to rent a car or what's that. I mean, but I'm going to leave that town either on a bus, a train, or a plane.
So that place has to have a bus stop or train or a plane.
Yeah.
It can't be so small. You're Ubering somewhere else to then.
No.
Does that make sense?
I got to be able to get to a bus.
Without an Uber.
Or I can use an Uber, but I got to bus out.
I'm just.
Yeah. I mean, I guess.
Curious how remote we can go here. I guess I'm asking.
Pretty damn remote. So. But you got to fly me to some place that's close enough to that place that, unless there's like I don't know. It's up to them. Truth is, for me, I mean, by the time I get to that, I might go, hey, it's a vacation.
Well, I mean, you are going to see some places and see some country.
Have some time by myself, a little quiet time. I'm kind of looking forward to it.
There's a difference, though, in quiet time and, hey, I have 12 hours on the Greyhound.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna be a little rough for your boy here.
Middle seat.
Yeah.
Who knows the riffraff that's coming in around you?
You can only imagine.
Do you have part of the country you would like to go to?
See, if I say that, I'm screwing myself. Nope.
Neal's like, Fresno. Fresno would be awesome. Please send me to Fresno.
Yeah,
that'd be amazing.
Send me to downtown Fresno.
Yeah,
Great.
thanks. Yeah, no, you're not taking a bus from LA to New York.
No,
God.
No. We're not. It ain't gonna be that serious, y'all. Not doing. That's why I wasn't gonna. I knew I'd lose, so I was at least gonna.
Okay. You got to stop. You didn't know you were going to lose. It came down to one game, NFL game.
I literally never thought about I'd win. I cannot, because Tyler's deal was he'd have to go to a haunted house. I have not researched haunted houses at all.
Well, okay, but it still came down to one game.
It
wasn't like you got beat by 19 units.
I actually did really well. I hit some. What kept me in it was I hit money lines.
Oh, it's true. Yeah.
I hit money lines. I hit some big money lines.
That's actually the way to just play the season.
If you win them.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So you have to use all three, though. You have to use a plane, a bus, and a train.
Yeah. Or someone said, "What about a boat?"
Oh,
I mean,
if you have a boat,
if you have a boat, the boat could replace.
You could ferry somewhere to get.
Yeah, the boat could replace the train or the bus.
So content-wise, I mean, are we like doing a bunch of videos on Twitter all the way home? How are we?
I'm gonna video a lot. I'm gonna, believe it or not, probably engage people on all of my transportation, interview people, and I'll send that to Cole, and he'll put it up on social media. Yeah, and I will try some different IPAs. I mean, if I get sent someplace that's got some pubs and stuff, I'm good. I'll figure it out. I do not require a lot of outside company to be entertained.
So when is this happening, date-wise?
Sometime after recruiting's over.
Yeah. But I mean, March?
That would be my guess.
Okay.
Something like that.
Not this cycle, like February cycle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, well, look, I don't know what Ole Miss is going to have left in recruiting come. Last year, they didn't do anything in February, and I won't be surprised if that's the case again this year.
Yeah, I mean, I understand Sammy and food reviews is great, but we're not trying to also put him into a mental breakdown. We're not going to say, hey, you have to ingest 3,000 calories every day while you're going to.
No.
Like,
it's not happening.
You have to go to all the bars and eat whatever the most fried thing is on the menu.
No, I'll find out. Like, if I go to some remote place, I'll find out, like, where's the place here, and I'll go film it.
If there's a place.
If there's a place. If not, I'll just walk around.
I mean, I had people sending me recommendations last night as it was all unfolding. Towns with 4 people, towns with 3 people.
Oh, it sounds like my kind of place. Wow. Sign me up.
One place was 4 people, 0 households. And I went, hold on a minute.
Where do they live?
How does that work? But no one was under the poverty line.
Oh. More and more.
I don't know. I don't know what that was or wasn't, but
piqued my interest.
Yeah, I did. I did get that. So sounds fun. Sounds like a party. So you don't even know where you would have sent him had he lost.
I have no clue.
You had not even.
I would have had to start today looking for haunted houses. So
I'm not a haunted house person. But I don't mind thrill stuff. It doesn't bother me. I think it's kind of whatever. Like there's been a couple places I've been where had the time work out, I would have done a couple of those like sanatoriums kind of things, those haunted house things.
Yeah.
But this is a true deal. The one on our board last night, wherever you can go, that's apparently a Netflix episode where you sign a waiver, and in the waiver, it includes they can do dental work on you during the haunted house. Did you see this?
I did not see this.
Well, hold on a minute.
No.
It's what our board said. I know everything on the internet's true, but that's what it said. It was like Mac something MC. I'll go find it in a minute.
Why would you sign up for that?
Again, I'm just reading the post from our message board, but they said even like they've put Navy SEALs through it and they hadn't been able to finish.
Oh no, I'm not doing no. I'm good.
I mean, who volunteers and goes, "Hey, hand raised"? No. And as they said, you do not want to take anybody with you.
No, I'm going to go by myself. That's the part of it, right? You have to figure it out yourself.
Yeah, if you're just hanging out and it's.
I mean, if you send me with like Cole goes with me filming stuff, Cole and I are just going to hang out and go find bars. I mean, that's not going to be even remote punishment.
I mean, not really at all.
Not any. I like Cole. We just would sit there and drink beer.
The one that we're talking about, McCamey Manor, is what it was. So, location, hours. There's one in Nashville, one in Huntsville.
The McCamey Manor thing?
Yeah, I'm just reading. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't need that.
You good?
I'm good. I mean, some people would say, don't be boring. I'm like, I don't want to go someplace where they take my teeth out. I'm cool.
I mean, maybe that was an exaggeration. That seems like that's not actually true, but that is what the message board said about someplace. Intense audio, lighting, extreme low visibility, strobe and fog effects, damp and wet conditions, physically demanding environments, close contact with creatures you might be touched, very real and graphic scenes of horror. Not recommended if you're pregnant, claustrophobic, have seizures, heart or respiratory conditions.
I'm good.
No smoking, drinking, eating, running inside, touching props or actors. They reserve the right to refuse admission to anyone for any reason. You voluntarily assume all risk and dangers associated with participation in this event. Blah, 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 blah.
No, I'm good.
At check-in, you'll be required to show your ID. The waiver process will last 2 hours.
I'm good. Look, if I want that much torture, I'll just watch a Cubs season. It's enough. You know what I mean? It's enough heartbreak. I'm good. It's enough. Oh, my God. What are we doing? There's enough of that. I'm good.
Okay. Anyway. Yeah, somebody said they had like a 40-page waiver. Yeah, I'm out.
I am kind of curious how I'm going to feel about Craig Counsell like in a year. Because I've always looked into the Brewers dugout, when the Cubs play them, and been like, why are we losing to that guy all the time? Like, Craig Counsell just stands there, and he looks just totally checked out and calm. It's kind of nerdy looking. And then he gets the most out of his team, and you're like, I don't see how that happened. So maybe he'll do this. Maybe he'll become my guy.
All right, I'll get to Counsell in a minute. First, you're ready to elevate your college football game day experience. Twisted Tea, your go-to game day beverage for college football fans. It's unlike any hard beverage you've had before. Real brewed tea packs flavorful punch with 5% alcohol and no carbonation. Perfect balance, taste and refreshment that goes down smooth for every game day occasion. No need to settle for the usual. Turns up any occasion, especially when you're cheering for your favorite team, you're tailgating in the stadium, parking lot, watching in a bar, or hosting friends at home. It's there to elevate your experiences. It complements your love for college football and your passion for creating unforgettable moments. So let's toast to unforgettable game day experiences. Twisted Tea, the drink that fuels fun and celebrates your love for college football. Keep it twisted.
We're also brought to you by, almost forgot to do this. We're almost brought to you by Athletic Greens. I drink AG1 by Athletic Greens literally every day. I gave AG1 a try because I wanted better gut health, sustained energy, immune system support, and I hate taking pills, especially those big pills. It's awful. I drink AG1 every morning. I love knowing I'm doing something good for my body, giving my body the nutrition it craves, and covering my nutritional basis. Covering my nutritional basis for the day literally couldn't be easier, which is why I trust Athletic Greens. I just mix one small scoop of AG1 with water and drink it first thing each morning. Done. I also like that it costs less than $3 a day. It's pretty good if you ask me. It's a really effective daily habit with the highest quality sourced ingredients. It's a win-win. If a comprehensive solution is what you need for your supplement routine, then Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/MPW. That's athleticgreens.com/MPW. Check it out. If you need stocking stuffer ideas, something for the boss or Secret Santa, maybe you just want to treat your own feet, take advantage of incredible savings with Dead Soxy's Holiday 2023 sale. Head over to deadsoxy.com, use the promo code Rebel Grove, and score 33% off. Happy holidays, and as always, stay Soxy. We're brought to you by Whitney McNutt, Tommy Morgan Incorporated Realtors. If you're searching for residential or commercial properties in Oxford or Tupelo, contact Whitney McNutt for amazing professional service and support. Contact Whitney at tmhomes.com or 662-567-2300. 2573. Are you retiring soon? How long should you wait to take Social Security? These are just some of the questions that can only be answered with the personalized retirement income plan. Andrew Seago with Seago Wealth Management specializes in helping folks just like you come up with their retirement game plan. Whether you meet at his office in Collierville or prefer Zoom from anywhere, schedule a free discovery meeting and see what they can do for you. It's rebelsretire.com. Again, rebelsretire.com. We'll have a hand raise, guys, Thursday afternoon. We've gotten rid of that 5 o'clock time slot. Works pretty well. It's brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. Different names, same great products and services. If you live in Oxford, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, call Comer, 662-8011-777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, or the surrounding area, call Southern, 662-429-4429. And we're brought to you by A-Stock. It's a Nashville-based online retail company with the mission to provide customers the power to name their price. All items start at just $1. That's right. Every item's $1, no matter what the retail value may be. So shop now at astock.bid. That's ASTOCK.BID. Download their app, name your price on thousands of items from big-name retailers. They've got multiple locations around Nashville and Memphis, some in Indiana, and more coming soon that offer local pickups, so don't miss out.
Podcast is brought to you by the Ole Miss Athletics Foundation. It's getting close to the end of 2023, so if you need to make year-end donations for tax purposes, call the foundation. They'll walk you through their philanthropic giving initiatives, whether it's the Vault Society or Empower. Both initiatives give you a tax-deductible way to support the Champions Now campaign. If you're working in estate planning, call the foundation. It just goes Forever Ole Miss. For further information, 662-915-7159 or give to athletics.com. So I'll get to counsel in a second.
That's fine. You don't have to. My mind is sort of
I got a thought there. But last thing on this McCamey Manor. So I pulled up the Wikipedia page. And yeah, liability waiver, blah, blah, blah. And again, I don't know if this is just to scare people or if it actually whatever, but the waiver includes being subjected to various forms of physical and psychological torture, including having bones broken, teeth removed without anesthesia, and being drugged. It's been under tons of scrutiny, obviously.
You think?
It lasts 8 to 10 hours, but no guest has ever made it all the way through. They originally did not allow safe words for the tour, but have since reported started allowing them, so guests have the option of ending the tour immediately. Operates year-round. The newest iteration of the tour, a 10-hour experience called Desolation, offers a prize of $20,000 for successful completion. They deduct $500 from the prize for every failed challenge or use of profanity. During the tour, employees of the manor may physically assault patrons, waterboard them, force them to eat and drink unknown substances, have them bound and gagged, and engage in other forms of physical and psychological torture. May be drugged during the experience. Journalist Tara West has reported that in the communities where the tour is staged, residents question how it remains legal, even with waivers. And then under the controversies tab here, Laura Holtz Brotherton, on a visit in 2016, said she reportedly used her safe word for several minutes before employees stopped torturing her. She was later treated at a hospital for extensive injuries. The one in Summerton, Tennessee, has been under all kind of stuff. Journalist Megan Selling has questioned many of the manor's claims. There's no $20,000, she said, saying no one has completed the tour by design. No one has made it to the supposed Huntsville portion of the show. She knows what will break people, and after stringing them along, he can simply pull out what's needed to shut down the show when it's ready to end. Yeah, so.
Anthony, thanks for the super chat. He says that place is a scam chase. The owner tortures prospective entrants to the point they tap out and never see the house.
Right.
Yeah.
How is this still a thing?
Look, I'm not a judge. I don't judge. Whatever, you do what you do. People are.
Well, part of me thinks if you're even signing up for this, you kind of ask for it too.
Don't you have to be a little nuts?
That's my point. Like, who in the right mind says, hey, you know what?
I think
because you would do some research and you run across this and go, okay, nobody's ever done it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go get my bones broken. I'm gonna go get waterboarded. Let's try that. But like sometimes you see like stuff that people do for quote pleasure that I'm like, I don't see how that's pleasurable.
Yeah. So hold on a minute. You're questioning whether counsel is going to become your guy?
No, I know he probably will, but it's the weird part about it is that I've never been able to hate him. Like I always was able, like.
But that's even more so.
Like I was able to hate Actually, by the end, I liked Mike Matheny because I'd figured out the game that I wanted him to be the Cardinals manager. But I hated Yadier Molina to the point where I didn't want to hear good things. Council always just looked at him and went, he just beats us. I can't figure out why. And now he's my guy, and I don't know. Like, I wonder if I'm going to look if it's going to be the same way where I just sort of look at him with this no emotion. It's hard to explain.
Because this is a cousin of, hey, he might be an asshole, but he's my asshole.
Yeah, but this is like, I think he's just a kind of a nerdy guy. Just.
But he's going to win baseball games.
Oh, he wins,
and
he
then
wins.
you
and
start
then
liking
he'll be
the
my
guy who wins the baseball games.
And I haven't always liked the Cubs manager. It's not always.
I mean, had Keith hired Drinkwitz and he was going 10-2, almost goes, God, he's a dork, but 10-2.
Yeah.
10-2 is 10-2. Okay.
The similarities between those two programs are just wild. I mean, they really are. NIL, portal, kind of stubbornly doing it a particular
Certain
way.
ways, yeah. Keith's list, Norvell, Kiffin, Drinkwitz. Pretty good.
Yeah.
And had to fight people who wanted Napier.
Yeah. Big people.
Mm-hmm. Big names.
Powerful people.
Yeah. I think Norvell, Drinkwitz, and Kiffin are better hires than Napier at this point.
I would think that's
what
a
we have
safe,
been shown.
And he hired Chris Beard. And let's be serious, the other stuff, it doesn't really matter. I mean, no offense to anybody.
Oh yeah, I mean
you're judged on 2 and maybe 3 sports.
That's where your rating is going to come in on how it's going right now.
Got to give Keith an A, man.
Yeah, nobody right now is going, I get Keith, but those 3 Olympic sports, I mean, look, you're out.
No, I mean, you got to give Keith Carter an A, maybe an A+ right now. I mean, not only that, but like game day stuff. Like, it was kind of interesting for me to get to go to the game in Fayetteville as just a person and not a media person, where you sat in the stands like a regular person. Because you know this, Chase. When we sit in the press boxes, that's not actually going to the game. Totally different experience. I mean, it is. It's very very sterile, and you don't really feel anything. You don't hear anything. You don't see anything. Yeah, you see the drone show or whatnot, but you're not in it.
I think this is right. I don't think I've sat in the stands at an Ole Miss football game since 2005 or 2004, unless I'm just forgetting a game at some point that I had somebody in town.
I haven't sat in the stands at an Ole Miss game since 2001.
Okay.
But I've sat in the press box.
And football's the one sport where you have the least stability. Like,
yeah.
I've been going to basketball games. You're covering basketball games. We're seeing the same thing. It's not closed off.
Right.
It's not like there's a different perspective in some way.
No, but the stadium looked a lot more fun this year. Not just because of the winning. I don't mean the winning at all. I mean, they just kind of made the stadium more fun. Even in day games, not just night games. They made the stadium more fun. That's to his credit. He hired the people that did that stuff.
Yeah. The music, the flow, the whole deal.
I was at the game in Fayetteville, and they didn't have that.
Oh, really?
They're behind. I think they know it. But it reminded me, frankly, of Ole Miss 2018, 2019, when Ole Miss was behind. And they were. I mean, I hope this doesn't offend anyone. I don't mean it to be offensive. But game day at Ole Miss, like 2016, 17, 18, 19, was pretty boring. The ancillary stuff.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not being critical. I'm really not. I'm trying to compliment where it is today, because it wasn't there a few years ago. It just wasn't. It was kind of boring. It was like, hey, let's recognize this person for 2 minutes, and then let's do this, and then there was never any.
You can do like
stuff.
one of those and get away with it. Beyond that goes, what do we do?
You just can't do all day long doing it. Like, that's what they kind of did at Arkansas. It's like, let's honor this person. It's like, okay, cool. Who's that? I mean, and I'm there. I'm like, I don't know who these people are. Like, what are we doing? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, entertain me. You look around and everybody's doing this. I mean, entertain me.
And that winning helps.
Yes, 100%.
But yes.
But, I mean, I was entertained that day only by my ability to go, you know what's coming right here? They're running that little play to the right. they're running. They're going to flood this zone right here.
You have felt like you had Enos figured out, and if you did,
I think I did. Yeah, that guy behind me goes, "You a coach?" It's like, no. Well, if you know what's coming, I'm gonna guess they know what's coming. Pointing over at Mississippi State, and I went, "Yeah, I think that's probably a safe bet."
If Neal's got it figured out, then the DC at State's probably got it figured out.
Yeah, I will say that Connor's right. Texas A&M's band that was phenomenal. That they get credit now because we make fun of them all the time and they deserve it. But their band was
awesome.
Their band was kick ass. Like the lines and stuff. It was like an optical illusion. It was fantastic. That was props.
Their band's great.
Their band's awesome.
There's 3 or 4 bands that I really like in the league, and they are 100% one of them.
LSU.
Alabama has a damn good band.
Bama's band's good, yeah.
Yeah. Is that the $1 million band?
Yeah, they
right?
kind of got football figured out.
Yeah. I mean, look, I get traditionally, I think Alabama's a better football environment than LSU now.
Yeah.
Stadium expansion, the whole deal. It was LSU forever, and I've been to both a lot. I think it's Bama now.
My last trip to LSU, I wasn't blown away.
Were you not?
No. It's like, okay, well, you've done that.
Kind of felt all the same.
Yeah. And they do some cool stuff, like in their pregame when they do the call in Baton Rouge and all that stuff. They do some cool stuff now. They, you can hate them or whatever you want as an Ole Miss person, whatever. It's fine. But there's some cool stuff that they do. The way that their band enters the stadium and stuff is kind of cool and stuff like that. But, yeah, once you've seen it a few times, you're like, okay, well, what's new?
Tulane was an interesting experience from a press standpoint because we were so low. That press box is right over the sidelines. I mean, you're like you're at a high school game. I mean, you're field level basically. Just kind of that was. But it was whatever. I like Dixieland Delight. I don't mind that tradition at all. It's a little weird that you've adopted a song that has Tennessee in the lyrics. I'll be honest.
It is.
I kind of don't mind Tennessee making fun of them for that, and
no,
I typically give Tennessee a hard time.
Isn't that kind of part of the whole college football thing? Is that most of it is sort of weird.
Everybody has a dumb thing.
Yeah, everybody's kind of weird. Yes, LSU's pregame show is pretty electric. I'll give them that. It's good. It's pretty solid.
Bama got better when they expanded the stadium. It looks better. They've done a lot more in-game stuff, and they got rid of the bear being the entire focus of the whole damn day.
Yes.
And now it's just a football game.
It's almost like they did what a columnist in Mobile wrote that they should do.
Grind, I can't believe you feel that way. Bama singing Rammer Jammer after 3-point wins is annoying.
Agreed.
That
it is so bad. I hate when people do it. You win a game like by 1 point on the last play, and we just beat the hell out of you. No, you really didn't. You just barely won the game. You won. Shut up.
You won on a fluke, actually, but sure. Yeah, Ole Miss can't really say anything, so the place is just quiet right now.
Yeah, I hate that. That does bug me when people do it. Drives me nuts.
That is true. The engineers at Tulane should all be fired because I know they don't prepare for Ole Miss in town, so they're not understanding. Like, it's not for a sold-out stadium, but the concourse situation at Tulane, oh, my God, getting out of there. Fire hazard, possibilities of fights. Because the team leaves through the concourse, too. So they just hold up everybody on both sides with no exit, waiting on the team to get out while all the fans are just together hanging out shoulder to shoulder for 10 minutes.
That's not good.
That creates some difficult environments potentially at that point. I mean, just saying. Yeah, you'll get to see the Boomer Schooner in Oxford next year.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Oklahoma coming to town.
I've heard Oklahoma game day's cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what people say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's not a shock. We make fun of A&M, but doesn't Oklahoma have like the male spirit squad too? Are they like the Roughnecks or something? Isn't that a thing?
I don't know.
They're not as outwardly in your face with it, but apparently, don't they? I think that's who drives the schooner.
Oh, I don't know.
But they probably have female cheerleaders, which
I would assume
is part of the reason that we kind of do what we do with them at that point. So just
I've heard them sing the Boomer Sooner song. Is there only 2 words, right? Just Boomer and Sooner. That's it.
Is it really?
I think so. I don't think there's any other words to it. It's like, just Boomer, boomer sooner, boomer soon. They just repeat it over and over, which is like, okay. I mean, I don't have a problem with it, whatever.
Couple minutes for the next break, and we'll talk some portal stuff because there is some news going on. I do think they take the wagon to away games, don't they?
These are things I don't know the answers to.
I mean, they haven't been in our league, so I don't know.
I don't know. I've been on their campus a couple times, but I've never been to a football game.
Oklahoma or Texas, more wins next season?
Texas. Dude.
Competing for the league?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm asking.
I mean, I think they're about to compete for the national championship.
Next year?
In about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks.
Okay, but I just mean next year after they
why not? He's done a really good job. I mean, we can do all the jokes we want to do. He's built SEC caliber offensive and defensive lines. They've got more money than God.
Luke, that's probably a very valid question because how do I not know this? It was on repeat at the College World Series. Oklahoma didn't have a lot of fans, and it's an enclosed press box at TD Ameritrade, so you don't hear the crowd very well. Like I could hear Ole Miss because it was so loud, but it was hard to necessarily take in all that most of the time. So it's angles and just whatever. Even when it was open at times, it just, you didn't hear the same way. And I guess you're probably right. I just kind of blocked it out because you're not really paying attention necessarily. And when it's
hard to explain to people.
When it's 10% of the crowd too, it's just not.
You're in a press box and it's kind of quiet in there and a few people are kind of talking and then like I get irritated at the people talking and I usually put headphones on and I start listening to something else and it's just a totally different experience. It's not one that I recommend. People are like, oh, I bet that's cool in the press box. No, it's not at all.
It's the least cool thing
you'll ever do. There's nothing about that experience that you walk away going, that was cool. No, not really.
Texas is just curious here. Their 2024 SEC schedule. They have home games against Georgia, Oklahoma, Florida, and Kentucky.
Okay.
And they have road games.
They go to Vanderbilt.
I think the road game, let's say, State, Vanderbilt,
Arkansas,
and A&M.
Yeah.
So those are the 8 teams they play. They play Georgia, Arkansas, A&M, Oklahoma, Florida, Kentucky, State, Vanderbilt. I mean, that's 4 guarantees at the bottom. Arkansas, yeah. I mean, they have 3 losable games, even sort of losable.
Yeah.
I mean, they can lose in College Station, just because
they could.
Georgia and Oklahoma.
That deal at College Station getting weird.
Yeah, I'll get there in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange deal. So we'll go there, go portal after the break. First, though, G&M Pharmacy. We are into December. If you have not done this, for really anyone, especially patients that are getting a little older, the high-dose flu shots, most clinics typically give standard dose to all patients. They really recommend the 65 and up. Get the high-dose flu shot from them. They also have the new RSV vaccine if anyone needs that. It makes it easy to do by appointment, which makes getting in and out fast as possible. Give them a call to schedule. That's 662-236-2222 for G&M or Tyson Drugs in Holly Springs, 662-252-2321.
College Corner is open. They've got Peach Bowl gear. Ole Miss and Penn State probably have heard by now in the Peach Bowl, December the 30th. So you can get your gear at the College Corner. It's collegecornerstore.com. Also 2 locations in the Jackson area, 1 in Oxford. So for your Christmas shopping, for your bowl shopping, go to collegecornerstore.com. We're brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. Look, if you're planning a vacation, maybe you're thinking about next summer already. Maybe you are. Maybe I'll get lucky and they'll plan my punishment through John. He'll take care of me a little bit. I'm guessing that doesn't happen. But if you're thinking about planning a trip that you want to be one that creates a lifetime of unique memories, get in touch with John. He'll give you give him parameters, give him a budget. He'll give you options that you're not going to find on your own. 901-494-3387. Or send him an email, jedwards@regencytravel.net. Oxford's newest Greek restaurant on the square, Opa, is the perfect place to plan your Christmas party, your company dinner, your festive party event. They can accommodate up to 200 guests, fabulous food, great craft libations as well. Just get in touch with Jeannie at 601-421-7147 We're brought to you by Service Specialist Staffing and Recruiting Agency. We told you about if you're looking for a job yesterday, but if your company is looking to hire quality, hard-to-find talent, Service Specialists can help. Keep in mind that payment of service is solely contingent on if you decide to hire a candidate that they send. You've got nothing to lose, so give Will, Sydney, or Kelsey a call at 662-832-5138 or check out their new and improved website, servicespecialist.com, servicespecialistltd.com, I should say. Get the beautiful and healthy smile you deserve at Corinth Dental. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures that will result in a beautiful, long-lasting smile. From routine checkups to advanced treatment, including implants and Invisalign, Corinth Dental is here to help you achieve your smile goals. Schedule your appointment today. Take the first step toward a better version of yourself. It's corinthdental.com.
Podcast is brought to you by Prime Shrimp, primeshrimp.com. 7 different flavors right now, and 8th coming soon. The ginger soy flavor for have a lot of recipes that can go with that. They've got some of my favorites. They've got some of your favorites too. We're trying to help you out. Either stock up on the ones you like or try several different ones. You can use code RG at primeshrimp.com. You get 5 different pouches, 25% off. Again, they ship directly to your door. They got a money-back guarantee. And you can be ready in fewer than 10 minutes. Freezer to plate, fewer than 10 minutes. Great for lunches, great for snacks, dinners with kids being busy, holidays. You can work it into recipes. So many different ways to use the shrimp. They're from Prime Shrimp. It's a restaurant quality shrimp from the New Orleans-based company. They also have their 2-pound bags of individually frozen shrimp for those who want that. So again, code RG, 5 pouches or more, 25% off at primeshrimp.com. So,
not to change the subject, did you see Dellinger's new story?
I have not, no. What is it?
I'll just read you the beginning of it.
Yeah, sure.
This is Ross Dellinger, our colleague at Yahoo.
Oh, yeah.
You think Yahoo even knows rivals exist? I shouldn't say that. I take it back. I apologize. It's a joke. Of the many recent changes in college athletics, the most transformative and revolutionary may be on the way. NCAA President Charlie Baker is planning to introduce this week a proposal to create a new subdivision within Division I that grants certain schools more autonomy around policy making and permits them to compensate athletes in a new and profound way. In a letter sent to Division I members and obtained by Yahoo Sports, Baker outlines a groundbreaking and radical change to the NCAA Division I athletics model, describing it as, quote, a new forward-looking framework, end quote. According to Baker's proposal, schools that choose to be part of the new subdivision, they can opt in or out, are required to meet a strict minimum standard rooted in athlete investment. Members of the new subdivision will be permitted to strike name, image, and likeness deals with their own athletes, a significant move away from the current NIL structure. However, the most impactful benefit of this new model is a framework in which schools can directly compensate athletes through a trust fund. Schools within the new subdivision will be required to distribute to athletes thousands of dollars in additional educationally related funds without limitation. There's no cap on the amount of funds that a program can provide an athlete. It is perhaps the single most revolutionary concept introduced by a sitting NCAA leader in college athletics history.
There's a lot to unpack there.
There's a lot. I mean, whoa. Entry into the subdivision requires a school to invest at minimum $30,000 per year per athlete into what is termed an enhanced educational trust fund,
and not football athlete.
I'm reading from it. For at least half of a school's countable athletes. So well beyond football.
Okay.
Schools would determine when athletes receive the amount, which for 4-year athletes will total at least $120,000. Schools must continue to abide by the framework of Title IX. Oh, here we go. Assuring that 50% of the investment be directed toward women athletes. That's where when you talk about it being a business, it's not. The new subdivision.
But now, okay, here's the question. 50% meaning total money, not meet the threshold of $30,000. as you see fit.
I don't know.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I don't. That's not the way I read it.
Am I giving the men's golf and women's golf, no offense, Malloy and Corey, 30,000 and I can give football 70,000, or does that make sense?
The way I read it
Okay.
is that whatever you give,
has to be equal.
Yes.
Per player.
Yeah, you can't give the quarterback $2 million.
Okay.
That's the way I read it.
Okay. We'll obviously spend a ton of the show tomorrow once we've had time to dissect this and see what other people are saying.
Yeah, there's a lot here. I mean, yeah, the story just goes on and on and on.
I mean, one of Dellinger's tweets, its proposal is the first step toward the long-anticipated separation of the high-revenue schools from the lower-resource brethren, known inside the industry as, quote, the Great Split. Uncertainty around the growing schism in D1 now has a solution.
Again, this is like just spur-of-the-moment thoughts from my scattered brain. So I haven't had a chance to really think about this or read it because we did it sort of in live time just then, but there's this sense, as we were about to talk about the portal, right?
Yeah, we are.
There's this sense that what's happening in the portal, the word that people keep using, and it's a funny word because they keep going, this is not sustainable. This is unsustainable. And I think I said this yesterday, so forgive me if I'm being repetitive. We podcast a lot. It is, but we keep sustaining it, which means that it is sustainable. And if anything, the numbers in the portal are growing. How many guys got in the portal yesterday? It was like 600. Do you know the number?
No, it was over 1,000. It's the most ever for a day. It was over 1,000. It is. I have it here.
Okay.
Over 1,000 transfer portal yesterday. 775 last year, so up 25%. 7% of all college football rosters are in the portal yesterday. 7%.
I mean, think about that.
40 recruiting classes are in the portal.
And I hear the numbers, right? That people are getting in the portal. And my reaction to it without knowing exactly what's going on is this is not sustainable. And yet it continues to be sustained. And so at some point you go, well, maybe it is. Maybe this is just the new environment, and it still feels so new that it feels weird. I'm assuming, right, that if I get on a plane tomorrow and fly to Australia, that for the first few days I'm going to be like, wow, I'm in Australia. This is crazy. This is totally new. But if I stay there for 2 years, at some point, yeah, I live in Australia. This is what we do in Australia, right? And I kind of think that's where we are with this, which is this is still so freaking new compared to what it used to be like that we're all like, oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Everybody just listened to me talk. We're not used to it. But this is the new normal. This is what we do, and everybody keeps coming up with tries to ways to regulate it or whatnot. And I don't know. I don't know that works.
Look, we adapt to the emotional elements of college sports, and that's what's happening now. I mean, we can sit here and go, hey, these coaching salaries are crazy and ridiculous, and that we just can't keep going up. We had that conversation when coaches were making $4 or $5 million, $3.5 million, $2.5 million. And now we're having the conversation at 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I mean, all those different things.
10 years ago,
just keep doing it.
10 years ago, if I told you the Ole Miss football coach was making $9 million a year, you'd have been like, no way. You're out of your freaking mind.
Yeah, I'm looking at the budgets going, how?
Ain't no way.
That doesn't make sense. But here's the deal. That ends up happening, and that's what's happening here is that you just keep going off because as long as one school is willing to pay a couple players, everybody finds ways and just starts throwing. And I mean, I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they said, it's like the NIL thing. And 5 years ago, we wouldn't have thought, hey, schools, foundations, or athletic, whatever you want to call them at your different schools, basically are putting things on the back burner to make sure the players get paid, and we're not worried at all about facilities. We're not worried about infrastructure. We're not even worried about increasing salaries necessarily for analysts and staff and all those things. And you've got coaches in non-football that are going, okay, well, the budget's got to get hit somewhere. So am I not going to have a strength coach just for my sport anymore? Am I not going to have the trainer just for my sport anymore?
Nope.
Am I going to share a GA with the volleyball program? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so it's, yeah, the players are all getting something, but like the resources come out of something else.
Absolutely. It's not monopoly money.
No. So like, where is that going to be hit and where is that going to be taken at that point?
It's building a baseball roster, right? I mean, if you're the team that spends, $500 million on Shohei Ohtani, you might not be able to go get that third baseman you wanted. You might have to promote from within at third base. So
point being, no, it's the new version of coaching salaries from an emotion, and it's a scoreboard, and it's, well, they got this and they got this, so we're just going to do everything and we're going to find a way to make it happen. So no, I don't think it's as sustainable because it's donor money. Until now, this is potentially changing it. But even so, where is the money coming from?
So is this the revenue sharing that everyone's talked about? Is that what this is? This isn't revenues.
No.
This is budget sharing.
This is athletic department budget, right? Did I understand you that the schools would be able to do it themselves?
That's the way that I read it.
But then they market themselves to other entities, or they literally use them to market, which is what they're already doing. Or are we finally going, this is just pay for play? Well, because what the hell's the quid pro quo in that? And again, I haven't read the story, so
there is no quid pro quo.
So someone who's listening to the podcast at 3:00 this afternoon, you have way more information than I have right now in real time.
Because we're doing this at 9:09 a.m.
I haven't even seen the story. So, but it said, right, that they could enter in NIL agreements with themselves, correct?
The way that I read it was you would take, let's use Ole Miss as the example, since that's basically what we're doing here, is you would move the Grove Collective in-house. It wouldn't be an outside entity. It would now be a school entity.
Which would mean the school is hiring its own players.
Yes.
For this amount, though.
Yeah, but almost as contract employees, not employees.
Yeah, vendors, essentially.
Yeah.
1099.
That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah. The way that I'm not a Yahoo employee.
Right,
I'm a Yahoo vendor.
Correct. I need to see some contracts, but yeah, I get what you mean. Okay.
I mean, I'm like you. I'm kind of.
But that's only for the base. They still can get NIL from all the other sites, and it's just handled internally contractually by the schools?
That's the way I read it.
Okay. It's just guaranteeing a minimum.
That's
for everyone.
Yes.
Okay.
And also, this is that deal.
It's creating a line of delineation that is going to
eventually lead to the super conference.
Right.
But it's also doing the Title IX thing, because what's happening with the way that NIL is working right now, and there are exceptions, right? The Livy Dunn.
What? I got a question.
Yeah.
Okay. In conjunction with the playoff expansion.
Uh-huh.
So if like 3 group of 5s opt in, are those the only schools that are eligible for that 12th spot in the playoff?
Oh, it's a great question.
Can you opt out of this but opt into the main division of college football to play for championships?
It's a great question. I don't know the answer, obviously.
So like, does Tulane have to pay $30,000 per athlete on campus to be eligible for the college football playoff?
That would be my assumption.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Does Gonzaga in basketball have to pay $30,000 to be eligible for the NCAA basketball tournament?
That would be my assumption.
Well, now, if that's the case, the basketball tournament's over, and we're just doing the Power 5 thing with basketball.
I told you for a long time that was coming.
Yeah.
Haven't I?
Yeah. Again, I'm asking a bunch of questions that Dellinger probably has the answer to, but I don't have Ross in front of me right now, so I'm just asking questions.
Well, I think they're still figuring it all out. But here's the thing, right, is that there's a lot of schools that can't do this.
No, that's a lot of money.
I mean, because if you do, okay, so you pay your football roster. How many people are on your football roster? 85. You pay your basketball roster. That's 13. At a school like Ole Miss, they would pay the baseball team, right? How many scholarships in baseball?
11.7.
Okay, so we'll call it 12. So 13 and 12 is 25, and 85 is 110. Is that correct? Yeah. 85. Yeah. So now I got to go pay 110 female athletes on campus. The same amount of that.
You got to pay more than that, because there is more potentially. Like whatever you just got to pay whatever the number is.
Right. So yeah, whatever that number is, that's not That's not doable at a lot of places.
Yes, the hamster apparently fell off the wheel, but I don't have any more information for you at this moment.
What are you talking about?
I'm keeping certain sentences out of the podcast just they understand what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to get a number on what this would look like. I'll get a number to kind of see whatever. Again, we'll make the whole show about this tomorrow, or a lot to try to break down once we've seen more. Speaking of Dellinger, he had Sankey talking about a story yesterday, or I guess Saturday is when this came out. Did you see this about the alliance is what caused all the problems, and Sankey being pretty pointed toward it being their fault that they were in this mess to begin with?
Well, he's not wrong.
No, not at all. I mean, Ross opened it with, they called it a gentleman's agreement. They called it the alliance, and then went into why that was the reason why the playoff did not happen in 2023.
I mean, that's true.
And prevented the postseason from expanding a year earlier.
That's true. Sankey was for expanding this a year ago or 2 years ago.
You had that idea, Sankey said, that opportunity could have been there, but I have colleagues that simply chose to oppose.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Then Jack Swarbrick, who was the AD then at least of Notre Dame, he had a quote in this. He blamed the SEC for poaching Texas and Oklahoma as the problem.
Stop.
He said that hurt confidence for everyone and undermined the conversation. Caused mistrust, as he called it.
You know, there are people in the world that think there's going to be a utopia.
Mm-hmm.
They do. They believe that if everyone could just be fair and equitable, if everyone would just take an equal piece of the pie, that the whole world would be peace and harmony and utopia. Those people exist in college athletics too. Chase, that's not how anything in the real world works.
Asked about the topic, Sankey said the alliance commissioners over the 16-month delay never really made clear their problems with the expansion model. Quote, I think it was the inability to actually make the points of concern so they could be addressed that is most troubling, he said before pausing. So here we are. Fair enough. So one more year of this.
Ginger makes a great point in the thread, by the way. She says, no chance you'd be able to classify them as 1099 employees because to be a 1099, they can't give you any of the tools necessary to perform the job.
Okay, break it down like I'm 5. What do you mean?
Well, if you're a 1099 employee, they can't supply you with uniforms.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Training tables.
Yeah, sure.
Football helmets.
Yeah, you simply operate on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
You're just a contracted.
Jam Gilza also says 1099s differ very much state to state. Yeah, no, okay. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, we're going to need a day of clarification on this before I'm.
Hey, read the first 4 paragraphs of this story.
And now break it all down for an hour for me.
And answer it all.
Yeah, I feel like we're back in high school where they go, hey, you got a book report due. What'd you read the first chapter? That's what I got.
Probably not going to make it.
I watched the movie. Same, right? Whew. Yeah, players will have to pay for uniforms, travel, food, all that stuff under 1099. So, no, that's not going to happen. If you pay them $30,000, do you take away their scholarships?
Dude, I don't know.
Well, you don't because you can't harm the athlete. The world we're in, you can't harm the athlete. You can do nothing negative. You just have to keep giving them things.
Does it seem to you, because it's starting to seem this way to me, that we're having a hard time, we being the world of college athletics.
The collective, yes.
We're having a hard time just accepting that certain people are going to get more and other people just aren't.
Because we've been able to put the cover over our heads for so long, where it always has been happening, but we didn't talk about it. It wasn't on the broadcast. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Cam Newton, I'm not saying his story on Barstool the other day wasn't true, but he did not go to Mississippi State because somebody yelled at him on the stands. He didn't go to Mississippi State because they funneled money through a church and paid him at Auburn.
Yes.
That is why he went to Auburn.
Yes.
And it's what everybody else was doing too.
Of
So
course.
I'm not doing the Auburn thing.
No, not casting
the
aspersions.
point being, but that wasn't on the broadcast. We didn't talk about it. And now that we're talking about it, people can't just be okay. It can't be business. It has to be, how do we even it all up? You're never going to. Because here's what happens. When you even it up, the black market comes back and they just get paid more on top of that.
Because here's the deal. I meant to put this in a note yesterday. I failed to. The black market still exists. It's just a different black market now.
Yeah, sure.
Now the black market is in the early stages of recruiting because the kids won't even come visit without getting paid. Not all of them, but a lot of them.
Yeah.
And so you got to have a black market money. So you're hitting up the same damn boosters. Hey, I know I need you to give to the Grove Collective. I can feel Ole Miss people getting nervous right now. I know we need you to give you to the Grove. We need you to give money to the foundation, right? And at Ole Miss, they actually work really well together. The foundation and the Grove Collective work incredibly well together. It's not that way everywhere.
Yeah. No,
so
it's
contentious at a lot of places. At Ole Miss, they at least for right now, they've got a very symbiotic relationship. But regardless, so you got people like Denson Hollis saying, "Hey, give money to the foundation because we got to do these things to keep up." You've got people like Walker Jones going, "Hey,
if we don't have players,
I need you to give to the Grove Collective because I don't know, when you go to the games, you kind of like it when we win, right? Well, to win, we got to have the players." And then now you have this other side of it, which is, well, don't we need to even it out? Don't we need to make sure that if we're giving $12 million to football, that we're going to give $12 million to women's sports? And the answer to that is no, it's stupid. And nobody just kind of wants to accept. Look, Dylan Gabriel left Oklahoma yesterday. This is where college football is today. The starting quarterbacks at Oklahoma and Ohio State got in the portal yesterday. They still have games left to play.
Just to see what they were going to make?
Yeah, and hey, they're going to make a lot more.
I mean, that's why.
I mean, Dylan Gabriel has multiple offers right now. What's his name? Luke McCord?
Yeah.
Kyle,
yeah.
I always want to say
Kyle.
Luke.
Yeah.
Kyle McCord, the quarterback at Ohio State. Good quarterback. I mean, I never watched him this year and went, that dude's a stud. But I always thought he was pretty good. I mean, he's Ohio State's quarterback. He's got multiple offers. He's going to make real money next season.
Will Rogers is going to make good money next year.
Yeah, of course he is. I've long told you, Will Rogers can run an offense. And so you can put him someplace where you have an offense and you surround him with some players. He'll distribute the ball. He knows how to prepare for a game. But at no point did anyone ever watch Will Rogers and go, wow, good player.
Speaking of Ole Miss, portal damage yesterday compared to the rest of the country, very minimal at this point, or at least as of the end of yesterday. If something happened this morning, I have not seen it. The only Ole Miss players in the portal, Rafe Vinson, Caden Costa, which you knew, the kicker, Kyron Heath, and Ashim Young. Young had been dismissed from the program, so that was an automatic too. So Ole Miss, look, they're very thin at tight end. You had Connor jump out at the position. Most people believe Priest Corn will remain a Rebel for next season, that will get done, but Heath currently in the portal to see what his possibilities are there. So right now, again, yesterday, the last I saw, only 4 Ole Miss players and nothing unexpected from a portal standpoint. There been a little bit of buzz on a couple other guys' possibilities, but to this point, that has not happened. And it was a pretty quiet portal day from an outgoing standpoint for the Rebels. A lot of stuff up at Rebel Grove as far as in the Nuggets thread, guys who are planning visits or high possibilities for the Rebels. Also, Dayton Wade, which was to be expected, we talked about on multiple podcasts, is going to move on from his college career simply because of age and been around for a while and time to take the next step. So no issue there.
Yeah, no. Wish him the best. Great.
He's been a hell of a sign for the Rebels. Oh boy, without Dayton Wade.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
They got a lot out of Jakir Pearson and Dayton Wade.
They wouldn't be 28-10 over 3 years without Dayton Wade.
Oh. True. Iowa quarterback Joey LaBosse has entered the portal.
Never heard of him.
As Ryan Brand said, I can imagine the bidding for the quarterback not good enough to start in Iowa's offense.
Not good enough to be the backup.
You're the third team guy.
The kid playing now is the backup.
I mean, what do you think you have a market?
What'd you say? 1,100 kids?
Yeah, 20,000, 1,100.
I mean,
7% of all players.
no, they're not all going to find a home.
Well, no, that's the thing every year is a lot of them end up at Ouachita Baptist because they don't have anywhere to go. I was trying to find a school that nobody gave a crap about.
Well, you did it. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's good. I mean,
No, they end up at North Alabama or something. I mean, there's nowhere to go. It's.
Oh, not even them. They're D1 now.
Oh,
like you
true.
end up.
That's true. You end up
Delta State, Ouachita.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
Yeah.
going downstream at that point. I mean, that's the thing. So I don't. It's. I know most people were already getting in, so yesterday was the big purge. But I mean, if it's 1,000 yesterday, it's going to be.
Oh no, there's more coming after the bowl games. There's, I know for a fact because I've got a handful of names written down that I'm watching for.
Oh, we're talking 3,500 total before it's over.
That's nuts.
If you put the over under at 3,000, I would go over. Because I think
Would
you're
you
right.
really?
I think, dude, remember last year?
I mean, kinda.
Half of the guys Ole Miss got, we were doing the bowl thing.
Oh
hey,
yeah. Oh, that's right.
including some dudes they didn't get, like the Alabama guys that ended up staying after. Like Alabama paid them to not whatever, but they still got in the portal at first and got them back. Ole Miss was after one of the wide receivers. I can't think of his name.
So you're telling me my 5 days in Atlanta won't be peaceful? That I'll still be having to follow portal stuff?
You will be collecting names that you will get tons of calls. The guy goes, hey, look, I don't know the guy's name, but number 17 for Alabama, whoever that is, after the bowl game, watch for that. But don't put it out yet, but just keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
You're going to get that call 9,000 times over the course of those.
And by the way, I said this in my notes thing. I'm going to say it here too. The whole tampering thing, I laugh out loud at anyone who gets upset about tampering.
You're not going to criticize schools for tampering?
No. Everyone's tampering.
Pre-portaling.
You know, pre-portaling is not yet a word. My computer keeps trying to correct the word portaling. It doesn't like that
It's
word.
not a verb yet?
It doesn't like it.
You can make it.
Yeah, but you have to hit the little X and like.
No, I mean, like you can go in the system and put it in as a new word.
I
where
guess
it
I
won't
could.
do that anymore.
Okay, I need to do that.
Yeah, I always had to do it when Brady Bramlett played baseball here because my computer refused to not change it to bracelet.
Oh.
It would have done it all 4 years. Yeah. Bramlett became bracelet always.
Oh, yeah, you did have to fix that.
Yeah. Didn't work. So anyway.
Did it ever try to turn Kessinger into Kissinger?
I don't think so. No, because I had the name in my phone.
Oh.
Because your contacts will sync
Gotcha.
and it tries to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it will move things to whatever your number was that was in your phone, which I thought I would have had Brady's. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, no, Kessinger was never that.
But I've heard there's a certain someone in our state who throws a complete conniption fit about tampering. Shut up.
Come on.
Yes. Your roster is being tampered with.
And you are tampering.
And your coaches are tampering other rosters.
If they're not, they should be fired.
It just is.
Yes.
It just is what it is.
It's the world we live.
The portal giveth and the portal taketh away.
Yeah.
If you don't like that,
sorry, it's the word.
But
it's
stop
the word.
bitching about you're going to turn people in.
No, you're not.
The NCAA has absolutely no taste or time for that. Can you imagine
if everyone tried to turn in tampering?
If they started, I guess if you had a video of Lane Kiffin in person talking to the starting linebacker at Tennessee about,
but it would take that.
Hey, we'll give you $250,000
if you jump in the portal next month.
Yes, I guess if you had that, sure. Anything less than that, good luck.
Not a chance. Podcast brought to you by Northeast Spark, SPNESPARC, service people across rural communities. 2 packages, the Ignite, the 100 Mbps, or the Blaze, the 1 gig that powers the Clark Ford studio. Your hometown team bringing you world-class broadband. That's nespark.com. 662-238-3159. Phone service, parental controls, network security, and much more. Again, the best internet in Lafayette County. That's 662-238-3159.
Are you a displaced corporate executive wanting to put your career in your own hands? Are you an experienced entrepreneur looking to diversify? Andy Ludicky can help. He's a longtime Rivals board member, a diehard college football fan, franchise veteran. He owns multiple franchises and businesses and uses his expertise to help others find their American dream through a very thorough and free consultation process. Call Andy. Put your life and your career in your own hands. It's 100% free. You've got nothing to lose. Find your perfect franchise at myperfectfranchise.net. Contact Andy at myperfectfranchise.net or 404-973-9901. Southern Traditions Farm is a 68-acre, 32-stall upscale equestrian training and boarding facility in Canton, Mississippi. 2 sand rings, a grass ring, miles of wooded trails. There's a lot offered at Southern Traditions, including horseback riding offerings from beginner lessons to buying your first horse and competing at nationally recognized competitions and more. Get in touch with them on Facebook or Instagram at Southern Traditions Farm. Would you like some peace of mind knowing that your roof is taken care of? Whether you need an inspection, a new roof, or a maintenance program, Riverland Roofing has you covered. Home or business, as a GAF Master Elite contractor, they can offer warranties that last a lifetime. Licensed and insured, Riverland services Mississippi and its surrounding states, so call or text them today at 662-644-4297. Are you ready for the ultimate college experience? Welcome to College Town, Oxford, your new home away from home. They know you want the best. That's exactly what they offer. No more long commutes or missing out on campus events at Ole Miss. Instead, it's right next door to the Ole Miss campus, offering spacious 2, 3, 4, and 5-bedroom cottages, each with individual leases because they believe in flexibility and simplicity. Fabulous amenities, and more. So grab your friends, pick out your favorite floor plan, reserve it today at collegetownoxford.com, 662-300-3733. And I'll have a mailbag up tomorrow. It's brought to you by Art Hayes of Sotheby's International Realty. If you're thinking about making a move, put the power of Sotheby's International Realty to work for you. As a licensed agent with Sotheby's International Realty and a supporter of all things Ole Miss, Art Hayes can help you buy or sell in your hometown or anywhere in the world at no charge to you. Seriously. So call and ask Art how. 612-805-5929 or send him an email, arthur.hayes, Hays, at lakesmn.com.
Podcast is brought to you by Style Assembly, women's boutique on the square. Clothes, shoes, purses, jewelry, art, and more. Huge selection of Gooder sunglasses for men and women. They launched their new online store. That is shopstyleassembly.com. Click shop now. Shipping's free anywhere in the U.S. on orders over $150. Exclusive discount RG15, 15% off on the website between now and the end of the year. Also, they're a corporate sponsor of the Grove Collective, as well as a founding member of the Grove Collective Business Initiative. You can shop online at shopstyleassembly.com or stop by the store, 203 North Lamar, next to Blind Pig. Ask for Kate, owner, and she will personally help you out. Yeah, Vanderbilt just completely gutted yesterday. Guys jumping in the portal. We already knew it was impossible. They're terrible, and now it's true in the stream. They might not be tampering. They are just trying to hold on to anyone that will stay there on West End because it's rough.
Really,
all 3 quarterbacks,
really rough.
Their top 3 receivers, Shepard, Humphreys, and McGowan. Their number 2 running back, and then DeRicky Wright, Ethan Barr, and Nate Clifton on the defensive side.
They have more high school quarterback snaps on their baseball team than they do their football team. How about that?
Do they really?
Yeah. More guys on the baseball team that played quarterback in high school than they have on the football team.
That's funny.
They play Texas at home next year.
I mean, if you're Clark Lee,
what
do you do?
You get out if you can.
Try as hard as you can and get fired and go be a DC somewhere until reset.
I mean, no one's going to hold this against him.
No.
I mean, right? You're going to go, hey, you couldn't win at Vanderbilt.
How the hell did James Franklin do it?
Look, for all the talk about what he is or isn't as a human being, he's a phenomenal football coach.
And it was a little different era. He's damn good. Don't get me wrong.
And he's damn good.
Yeah.
He's really good. I don't even do the caveats on it. He's got Penn State. Penn State is the Ole Miss of the Big Ten. It's right there. They're really, really good. They just can't get past the other 2.
Yeah. There's those 2 big behemoths there.
And you just can't get them.
They beat everybody else.
Everybody, literally. I mean, what's Lane's record if I take the Alabama losses and the Georgia loss out? Seriously.
That's 5 of them.
So he would be in the last 3 years.
That's 4 losses.
28-5?
Yeah.
28-6.
28-6. And 2 of those are bowl losses.
Yeah, I'd throw 4 losses out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so take the bowl losses out.
He'd have 4 regular season losses in 3 years.
He'd be 28-4 in
the
3 regular seasons.
Yeah.
Jeez, think about that. That's James Franklin at Penn State.
Yeah.
You take it if you take James Franklin's record at Penn State and go, okay, we're going to eliminate the Ohio State and Michigan losses. Whew. Getting it done.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Ole Miss plays the Mount tonight at 7:00 at the Pavilion, Mount St. Mary's. They are currently 2-5 on the season. They have wins over Coppin State, which is the number 360 team in the country, and Siena, who is the number 359 team in the country. They beat those two teams 74-60 and 80-48. They have a loss at Maryland, 68-53. They have a loss at Georgetown, 83-72. I mean, competitive. Lost at American, 68-65. That doesn't sound good. And then they lost at home to Howard, 87-83 in double overtime for that one. They also have a double overtime loss at Manhattan, 75-74.
Okay.
Manhattan's the Friars. Is that correct? Providence is the Friars.
I don't know.
What's Manhattan? Jaspers.
That's
Jaspers.
Right. That's right. Friars did not sound well. Good.
Yeah, okay.
There was a time in my life when I knew all of that stuff.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jaspers.
Wasted a lot of brain power on
the
that.
Mount is predicted to go 14-17 and 10-10.
Okay.
Inside what conference?
I haven't the slightest clue.
The Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.
Okay.
The other MAC.
The MAC.
MAC. Yes, that is correct. Emmitsburg, Maryland is where Mount St. Mary's is.
Oh, okay. How about that?
Did you know that?
I did not.
I could offer you $10 million to name their head coach, and you could not do anything.
Wouldn't have a clue.
Yeah. Dan Ingolstad.
Wouldn't have gotten there. Might have eventually guessed Dan in what would be the worst podcast in the history of man.
Their offensive efficiency is 310th in college basketball.
Not good.
And their defensive efficiency is 170th.
It's a little better.
It's a little better. Yeah. Their turnover percentage offensively is 330th in college basketball.
That'll get you beat.
It's one thing Ole Miss is doing well, too, is turning over their opponents. I was going to pull some Ken Palm stats when I get home from the podcast here. So there's also no concern that they will steal any basketballs today. They are 360th in the country in steals.
Oh.
No, sorry. That's being stolen offensively.
Oh.
So put a asterisk next to that
Keep
one
an eye on the turnover column tonight.
Yeah. Apparently they're more than happy to turn that bad boy over. So they do actually steal the basketball a little bit defensively, and they force a lot of turnovers. I mean, in all seriousness, that's what's kept them in games. Their non-steal turnover percentage is 28th nationally.
Okay,
so they are getting turnovers there for the Mount. So anyway, sorry, they're the Mountaineers too.
Last home game for
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, home today and then home again on the 19th. I think that's Troy.
That sounds right.
Because they go to UCF on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And
then nothing next week because of finals and whatnot.
And then Troy, Bryant at home, and a game against Southern Miss in Biloxi.
Yeah, the game against Southern Miss is on the 23rd.
Okay.
We will not be staffing that game. Sorry.
No one on the coast that would like to.
If anybody on the coast would like to staff that for us, we probably can work that out.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know that I'll be around to edit your work that evening, but.
And then last thing, Heisman finalist. You've got Marvin Harrison Jr., Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, and Michael Penix Jr.
Yep. So 2 of my guys on my ballot were invited.
Your third place guy did not
make the list. He did not get invited. Should have.
He's going to have a point though, at least 1 point.
I know he's going to have at least 2 points.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I know of another person who put him third.
Okay. Do you believe Jaden Daniels is going to win the award?
I do.
Do you?
I do.
Done a ton of exposure. A lot of pointing out that at least 3 recent winners all had 3 losses. Tebow, Robert Griffin III, and Teddy Bridgewater all had at least 3. No, Lamar Jackson, not Teddy. Lamar.
He should win the award.
He's the best player in college football.
He's great.
And what is usually something that could hurt the SEC, regionality, you've got Penix and Nix in the same area, which is going to screw up votes. I think he wins.
I think he wins. I can say this part. Bo Nix was going to be on my ballot before the weekend. and then he wasn't.
Oh, really?
And so I can't believe I'm the only person who did that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, of course not. That makes sense. So,
I mean, I'm not saying I'm special, but I have a feeling that other people with the ballot did what I did, waited till Sunday to cast it, and just said, "Nah, that doesn't look like a Heisman player."
Yeah.
And he didn't that night.
No, of course not.
And you know, and so it makes you, what did he do? You know, is he as good as Jaden Daniels? The answer is no. I'm not sure. I don't think he's as good as Penix. And I think Jaden is better than Penix.
Yeah.
And look, I love Marvin Harrison Jr. He's a
Good.
stud. He's a stud.
But
and if he wins it,
he's not going to win.
But he's not going to win. And then after that,
it gets pretty funky after that.
It gets kind of weird, like with some people that are sort of unsung, where frankly,
you can play a little.
Well, I mean, I pulled up some numbers on my guy and was like, why did this not get more attention this year?
Yeah, I know. I didn't realize the total numbers till you told me the other day.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, Mark makes a great point. Greg makes a great point. All 3 quarterbacks are transfers. So Tyler was in here yesterday, McCready and Siskey. It's up where you listen to podcasts. He said if he were running a college program again, he would not sign. He thinks he's to a point. He's have to talk about it, but he's to a point where he doesn't think he would ever sign a quarterback out of high school.
Ever.
He just wouldn't. He would just go strictly portal. I mean, I get it.
No, I get it. Completely.
I mean, I'll be interested to see what Ole Miss does a year from now when Jackson's done, presumably.
If they just ride with what they got or not.
Or do they jump in the portal at the top levels of the portal? And if they do, hey, you better put 7 figures back. I mean, you got to start budgeting for that if you're Walker and company over there, because the rates on a good quarterback are really high, really expensive. And a year from now, there aren't going to be as many good, because there just aren't many young guys getting experience.
So we'll see. Heisman Trophy presentation coming up. When is it?
Saturday night.
Saturday. Okay. One of those 4, then we'll talk about that going into next week. I have not seen a full practice schedule in Ole Miss. I know they were having basically the week off this week, and then kind of starting it out from
They're
there.
starting it at some point next week.
I saw Ukwu on Friday when we were taping with Quan Treadwell, and he said that they were basically told they just had to get a couple weightlifting sessions in at their own discretion this week and rest and do any training, but they were not gathering as a team this week at all, and then they would get together for that.
Yeah, the focus this week's on recruiting. I mean, that was a pretty beat up team by the end. Like, had Ole Miss had to go play in the SEC championship game, there was going to be a lot of time in the training room. That probably was anyway.
Yeah. So anyway, back tomorrow. We'll break down Dellinger's story more, try to figure out, get some clarity on exactly what's going on there, and then discuss Ole Miss trying to get to 8-0 in basketball tonight. Again, Mount St. Mary's, 7 o'clock at the Pavilion. So talk to you then. Take care. Have a good day.